The Galactic Federation had long been the ultimate arbiter of power, presiding over 1,000 worlds with a fleet that dwarfed all others. For centuries, the Federation's grip on the stars was unshaken, its authority unchallenged. Earth, a newcomer on the galactic stage, was seen as nothing more than a curiosity, a species barely capable of interstellar travel, fumbling with technology that the galaxy had perfected millennia ago. That perception began to change when Earth's ships appeared. They didn't look like much. Clunky, mismatched designs that seemed cobbled together. The Federation's admirals laughed, calling them junkyard fleets. But those fleets moved in ways no one had ever seen, their chaotic maneuvers defying conventional tactics. And when they fired, they struck with pinpoint precision, dismantling enemies piece by piece. Admiral Lyra Kane stood on the bridge of the Eclipse Horizon, Earth's flagship. Around her, holographic displays showed the buildup of Federation forces on the far edge of the Andros expanse. The Federation had declared Earth's actions a threat to galactic order, and now they were sending their full might to crush the upstart species. "We've pushed them too far," said Commander Harlan Ricks, her second in command. "The Federation won't stop until we're nothing but dust." Lyra's expression remained calm. "Good. It's time they see what Earth is capable of." Behind her, the crew of the Eclipse Horizon worked silently, their confidence unshaken. They knew what their fleet represented, a legacy of ingenuity, adaptability, and sheer determination. The Federation's fleet arrived in a blaze of power. Thousands of warships formed a solid wall, bristling with weapons that had subjugated countless worlds. Leading them was the Astral Dominion, a vessel so large it cast shadows over entire moons. On its bridge, Supreme Admiral Tarek Zorlan sneered at the reports coming in. "The humans brought how many ships?" Zorlan asked, his voice dripping with contempt. "Only 400, Supreme Admiral," replied an officer. "Most of them are smaller vessels, frigates, and corvettes." Zorlan laughed. "They're sending ants to face a Leviathan. This won't be a battle, it'll be an execution." But the Federation didn't understand Earth's secret. Its fleet wasn't just a collection of ships. It was a masterpiece of design and strategy. Each vessel was equipped with modular systems that allowed for rapid adaptation in the heat of battle. Their crews were trained not to follow rigid orders, but to think on their feet, to improvise. And at the center of it all was the Eclipse Horizon, housing the Aurora Core, a quantum AI that coordinated the fleet's every move. As the Federation's ships advanced, Lyra issued her first command: engage the Phantom Grid. Across the void, Earth's fleet seemed to vanish. The Phantom Grid, a network of advanced cloaking devices, scattered false signals and holographic decoys, plunging the Federation into confusion. On the Astral Dominion, Zorlan scowled as his fleet's targeting systems failed. "Where are they? Find them." When Earth's ships reappeared, they struck with surgical precision. Coordinated salvos targeted the Federation's shield generators and weapon systems, disabling entire sections of their fleet. The Eclipse Horizon led the charge, its plasma lances carving through the Federation's vanguard. "This isn't a battle," Lyra said calmly, watching the tactical display. "It's a message." The message was clear. Earth wasn't just surviving. It was rewriting the rules of war. The void erupted with chaos as Earth's fleet tore through the Federation's ranks. The Phantom Grid continued to scramble enemy sensors, creating a kaleidoscope of false targets and disorienting projections. Federation ships fired blindly, their attacks striking only empty space or phantom vessels. Meanwhile, Earth ships struck with devastating precision, their weapons targeting engines, shield generators, and critical systems. On the bridge of the Eclipse Horizon, Admiral Lyra Kane maintained her calm composure. The tactical display flickered with updates as Earth's fleet systematically dismantled the Federation's mighty armada. "Status?" she asked. Commander Harlan Ricks glanced at his console. 40% of their forward fleet is disabled. No losses on our side so far, they're in complete disarray. Lyra nodded. "Good. Push them harder. Deploy the striker wings and focus on their support ships. Cut their legs out from under them." The striker wings were Earth's ace in the hole, squadrons of advanced fighter drones equipped with adaptive AI, They darted through the battlefield like swarms of hornets, targeting supply carriers and repair ships with ruthless efficiency. Federation vessels scrambled to defend their vulnerable support fleet, but the striker wings were too fast, too unpredictable. Supreme Admiral Tarek Zorlan stood on the bridge of the Astral Dominion, his face a mask of frustration. "How is this happening?" he demanded. An officer hesitated before replying. "Their tactics, they're unlike anything we've encountered. Their ships adapt faster than our systems can compensate." Zorlan's hands clenched into fists. "They're improvising, fighting like predators." As the Federation's fleet faltered, Earth's forces pressed the advantage. The Eclipse Horizon unleashed a barrage of plasma lances, carving a path through the enemy lines. Smaller frigates like the Iron Resolve and Stellar Veil weaved through the chaos, using their agility to exploit weaknesses in the Federation's formation. Back on Earth, the battle was broadcast to billions. Across cities and colonies, people watched in awe as their fleet stood against the galaxy's greatest power. The phrase "Earth's legacy" began to trend across every communication network, a testament to the pride and determination uniting humanity. On the bridge of the Astral Dominion, Zorlan made his move. "Prepare the Cataclysm Array," he ordered. The Cataclysm Array was the Federation's most devastating weapon, a supermassive cannon capable of obliterating entire fleets in one strike. Energy surged through the Astral Dominion's conduits as the weapon powered up, its barrel glowing with an ominous crimson light. On the Eclipse Horizon, alarms blared as the energy signature of the Cataclysm Array appeared on their sensors. "Admiral, they're preparing to fire!" Commander Rix shouted. Lyra's eyes narrowed as she analyzed the situation. "They're putting everything into that shot. If they fire, we're finished, but it'll leave them vulnerable. Redirect power to the Aurora Core. We're not giving them the chance." The Aurora Core, Earth's quantum AI, surged with energy as it synchronized the fleet. In an instant, Earth's ships moved as one, their combined firepower focusing on the Astral Dominion. Plasma beams and railgun slugs tore into the flagship's shields, overwhelming its defenses. On the Astral Dominion, systems failed one by one as Earth's barrage intensified. Zorlan's officers shouted conflicting reports, but the Supreme Admiral's focus remained on the charging Cataclysm Array. "Fire it now!" he roared. The weapon fired just as Earth's final salvo struck the flagship. The crimson beam lanced through space, narrowly missing the Eclipse Horizon before dissipating harmlessly. Seconds later, the Astral Dominion erupted in a massive explosion, its shattered remains scattering across the battlefield. The destruction of the Astral Dominion sent shockwaves through the Federation fleet. Leaderless and disorganized, the remaining ships began to retreat. Earth's fleet pursued them briefly, ensuring they wouldn't regroup before regrouping around the Eclipse Horizon. Commander Rix let out a breath he hadn't realized he'd been holding. "Admiral, the battle is ours. The Federation is retreating." Lyra's gaze remained fixed on the void. "This wasn't just a battle," she said softly. "It was a reckoning." The galaxy had witnessed something it would never forget. Earth's fleet, the product of ingenuity and determination, had shaken the Federation to its core. As the Federation fleet limped back into the shadows of the Andros expanse, Earth's fleet held its ground, victorious but vigilant. Across the galaxy, the shock of what had transpired began to ripple outward. The Galactic Federation, an unshakable monolith of power for centuries, had been dealt a humiliating blow by a species they once deemed irrelevant. On the Eclipse Horizon, Admiral Lyra Kane stood before her crew, the bridge alive with the hum of repairs and analysis. The weight of their accomplishment was evident in the silence that followed the battle. "Status of our fleet?" Lyra asked, breaking the stillness. Commander Harlan Rix scanned the reports. "Minimal losses, Admiral. Our modular systems handled the damage better than expected. The Federation, well, their losses are catastrophic. The Astral Dominion alone accounted for a quarter of their operational fleet strength." Lyra nodded, her expression unreadable. "And yet this is far from over. They'll be back with more ships, more desperation, and less hesitation." This was the opening move in a much larger conflict. Back on Earth, celebrations erupted across every city and colony. People danced in the streets, raising holograms of the Eclipse Horizon and its fleet as symbols of defiance and hope. The words, Earth's legacy, became more than a slogan. It was a declaration of humanity's place in the galaxy. But in the halls of power, the mood was far more cautious. The United Earth Alliance convened a crisis meeting, bringing together military leaders, scientists, and politicians to assess the aftermath of the battle. Dr. Lennox Vall, the chief scientist behind the Aurora Core, addressed the council. What we've done is unprecedented, but it comes with risks. The Federation underestimated us, but now they'll see us as a direct threat. They won't just send fleets next time, they'll send spies, saboteurs, and assassins. We need to be ready. On the edge of the Andros expanse, the Federation licked its wounds. In the shattered remains of their once dominant fleet, survivors gathered to plot their next move. Supreme Admiral Tarek Zorlan's name was whispered with disdain among the surviving officers. His arrogance had cost them dearly. Admiral Carvin Shale, an ambitious and ruthless strategist, assumed command of the remnants. Earth has shown us their strength, Shale said, addressing her officers. But strength is a resource like any other. It can be depleted. We will study their technology, understand their weaknesses, and exploit them. They think they've won, but they've only delayed the inevitable. On the Eclipse Horizon, Admiral Kane sat in the quiet of her quarters, staring out at the void. The weight of what lay ahead pressed heavily on her shoulders. Commander Rix entered, breaking her reverie. "Admiral, the Council has requested a meeting with you," he said. "They're unsettled." Lyra allowed a faint smile. "Good. Let them be. The Federation thought they owned the galaxy. Now they know otherwise." Rix hesitated. "And what about the rest of the galaxy? If the Federation sees us as a threat, what do you think the others will see us as?" Lyra turned to face him, her voice resolute. "They'll see us as what we've always been. Survivors. Innovators. And if they think that makes us dangerous, they're finally starting to understand who we are." Across the galaxy, species debated humanity's sudden rise. Some saw Earth's victory as a beacon of hope, a sign that the Federation's tyranny could be challenged. Others saw it as a warning, a shift in power that could destabilize the delicate balance of the cosmos. But one thing was certain: Earth's fleet had shaken the universe, and the legacy of that battle would echo for generations to come.